Hello and welcome back to Desktop Calendar Help video. In this video, I'll show you how to edit text, colors, and pictures in Adobe InDesign template. Okay, so why don't we start with opening the InDesign template. Just close this up. Okay, once the template is open, before we start the editing process, let's start with the Layers panel. Here, amongst other layer groups, you can find something that's called Print Info and the Info box. And basically what these layers do are provide you with the basic technical information about the template. So here in the Info box you have the technical information, and when it comes to the Print Info, you'll see the boundaries of different elements, technical elements of this template. Like the text safe area, the cut lines, the bleeds. So if you're planning on moving around your elements in design, you can utilize these to know where you can place your text, where the images need to have bleed or no bleed, etc. These two layers are created in order to help you out when it comes to editing these templates. You can turn them off if you don't need them, you can delete them. And if you're exporting the files to the PDF for the printer, you don't have to worry about these elements being exported because the print layer has been unchecked. So I'm just going to turn them off. The next panel we're going to talk about is the links panel, and here we have all the images that have been placed here and are linked to this template. You can find these images and logo in your images and logo folder once you download and unpack your design. Now, since we're utilizing two images or the same image in two different ways on each page, I would suggest either using the links panel, selecting the image that you wish to place, right click on it, relink all instances, and then I'm going to choose the image. Now, as you can see, it's also in the background. Now, the problem with using this method is if you don't have the images of the same size as the original images, you'll have to edit them. For instance, in this case, I would center the content and then I would fill frame proportionally. Now I would need to do that same thing with this image. So I need to center the content, fill the frame proportionally, and that's basically it. Now, later on, I'm going to show you the faster and the easier way of utilizing the images and the links panel. And finally, we go to the pages panel. And if you never worked in the InDesign before, you can see two different areas. The top area are the master pages, and the whole point of the master pages is to put all the elements that are going to be repeated throughout the design, so you don't have to copy and paste them over and over and over again. For instance, we have the text here. It's not visible because when we go to the back to the original page, the pages that will be printed and exported, we can see that we have this background here, so we can see the text. Now, master pages are great because you can experiment with your designs by creating new master pages and applying them to your design without having to save different files and getting messed up with that. The way to apply master page is to select the page you want to change or pages. Right click on it, go to apply master to pages, and I'm just gonna apply cover. Keep current page size. Or I can go back to the page doing the same thing. Oops, let me just page Okay, something's moved here. Let's just bring it back. And voila, this is basically how you realize that something is going wrong with this template. So I'm going to check it out later on to see why the problem is. Usually you won't see these problems in CC versions. If you have CC 2017, I really suggest using that one, because you won't have any issues with like this in that version of software. Okay, now let's start editing the text. Editing the text is super simple. All you have to do is double click on the text layer and then either type in your own, let's say, type in your own values, or you can just copy and paste them. This particular info is controlled through paragraph styles. If you don't see paragraph styles, go to Window, Styles, and then Paragraph Styles. This is a combination of two paragraph styles. We have info title and info text. The address is the info title, and then the street name and everything else is the info text. If you're just pasting things, sometimes things can get a little bit messed up. So let me put in here address. Let's say things can get a little bit changed. So let's say if you had this just pasted. Let's say this was just pasted, and if you press this, and it doesn't, it's not the same as it used to be. Now, in order to utilize the same position, size, and text, what we need to do is right-click on this info text and go to Apply Info Text, then the next style. Because this is the combination of the two different paragraph styles, this is all you have to remember for this one. When it comes to the website you have on the pages, you don't have to play with two different styles, you'll have just one. Now, when I'm already talking about styles, this is the fastest way of editing the properties of the font. So let's say we want to change the look and the size or the font properties of the names of the months. Now, instead of doing that individually on each and every page, we can double click on the month here, and usually the three things that you're going to use the most here are the basic character formats, indents and spacings, and character color. Now let's start with basic character formats. These are all the elements you're going to get also in character panel, but if you're utilizing them from here, you don't have to, like I said, go through all 12 pages of this template. Make sure you have the preview button checked, so all the changes will be reflected immediately. So let me just change this to the other font. I'm gonna make it black. I'm gonna make it all caps or normal. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Whoops, it's gone. So we gotta make it a little bit smaller. Position is normal. Leading is 20.8, and let's leave it at that. Next thing, I'm going to change alignment. I'm going to make it aligned to the left. And then finally, I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to make it red. Okay, and now all these changes are going to be reflected through the entire design. Okay, Now let's talk about editing the colors when we already started doing something similar. Of course, you can select different elements. Then, for instance, here, then you can add your own values. Let's say I want to make this red. But again, you're going to have to go through all the different elements, except when it comes to this background of the month. The easier way, again, of doing this and making all the changes apply all at once is utilizing the Swatches panel. You can go to Window, Color, Swatches, and here, if you're not quite sure which color you're using where, simply click on the color that you wish to change. Now click out of the design, double click on the color, and again we're just going to type in our own values, and or we can play with the sliders and create our own swatches. And here we go. We've changed everything that was blue to red, and this is super simple, super fast to do, and I strongly recommend working that way. Now the final thing is the images. Now, like I said, we are utilizing single image in two different ways. So the best way of doing that is opening the images placeholder from the images folder directly into Photoshop. And now I'm going to just place my image here. Okay, we have one image. It's converting colors. It's getting it's a little bit slower because I'm doing some renders at the same time, so my computer has slowed down a little bit. Okay, now that I have my image placed, I'm gonna scale it. And the best thing about doing this is that you can now scale it the size you want. You can move it around and create the placement that works the best for you. So let's say I'm just gonna move it here a touch, and I'm just gonna save the image. Of course, you can merge these two layers together. The way to do that is simply press Ctrl E as a shortcut on your keyboard. And let me just change this second image and put something like this. Okay, I have an image placed. I'm just going to move it around again to get the best crop, and I'm going to save it again. So we're talking about I think this should be the placeholder in January. I mean the cover page in January. Now when we go back to the InDesign, when you go to the links panel, you're going to see that the images that have changed have this yellow triangle. When you hover over it, it says modify, double click to update. So you can either double click on this triangle to update your image, or you can select all the images that have this white triangle, go to the right click, and then update link. And it's going to update immediately throughout the design. This is the better way for me to do things, because you can edit all 13 images at once, update them all at once, and you're done. You don't have to work with placements, resizing within the InDesign. Okay, that was it when it comes to this tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions regarding the template or you need any additional help, please feel free to contact me and I'll try to respond as soon as possible. Until next time, have a fantastic day and see you soon. Bye.